Mr. Teddy said he wanted to help us pick out our TBR today. You're gonna give me all the good books? Love you. Boop. Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Heidi and I do all the bookish things. And today we are going to be picking our March TBR. Picking my monthly TBR is truly one of my favorite things to film and talk about. It's so much fun. It's also super helpful because I have such a long physical TBR. It like forces me to look through my cart and realize I have not only a lot of books, but a lot of books I forgot I even had. So this is a really fun way for me to get excited about books that I've owned for a while, but have kind of like forgot about. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm relatively new, not to the book community, but to actually contributing to the book community, and it's been so much fun. I love engaging with y'all in the comments. It's so great getting to know fellow booktubers and just people who are passionate about reading. I love that this generation is getting excited about reading again. It's such a beautiful thing, and I'm just so thankful to be a part of it. Keeping consistent with how I pick January and February's TBR, I like to go into each month with 6 books on my kind of solid TBR list that I want to read in the following month. Mister, stop groaning over there. Trying to talk, okay? Teddy is notoriously a sleepy boy, so if you could see him off camera, he's like yawning every 2 seconds. So if you hear him snoring, leave him alone. He's a sleepy boy. But anyways, yeah, I like to go into each month having 6 books on my TBR. Really helps me kind of narrow down my options. I get choice fatigue pretty easily, so it's just really nice to have those options going in. There he is, he's making a move. Okay, you can stay there. So I'll always pick 6 books total, 4 books from the TBR prompt jar, which is a lot of fun. And then I also have my 25 in 2025 priority list of books that I have to read this year. So I'll always pick 2 books from that list as well. And then I'm also running 2 book clubs. Technically, I go into each month with 8 books on my TBR because I have to pick those books as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Pick out some books. You're so handsome. Who could be scared of you? You're just a sweet little pebble. Just a sleepy boy. Alrighty, Tedders. How about we let you help us pick today? Yeah, because you seem so interested. I will pick 2 and then you, which one? Teddy. Teddy, which one? That one? Okay. Prompt number 1, the last book on my TBR. Okay, so I'm assuming that means the book at the bottom. I think that's what that means. Well, the last book on my TBR is How Does It Feel? This was actually gifted to me for Christmas by Yaz. I will make sure that she's tagged below so you can go give her a follow on Instagram and Booktok. She is lovely and one of my book besties who's local here in the Dallas area. So it's so nice having local book friends. She's lovely, but she gifted this to me. She said she loved it. I think there's 3 books out now, which is really nice. I've just heard, if I could wrap this up in one sentence, How Does It Feel is a fever dream. That's all I've heard, and I'm gonna go into this one completely blind because I want to experience that fever dream. Okay, well, that was easy. Teddy, you wanna hold on to that one for me? Alrighty, book number 2, are you ready to pick? Oh, it was the book buddy. You're good. See, oh good. Teddy, which one? That one, okay. The last book I bought, okay. One second, I need to go get this because I just bought this book yesterday and I'm so excited about it, and I have a sneaking suspicion it's also going to be my Fable book club read. So if you're interested in joining my Fable, I'll have it linked below, but let me go grab that book real quick. Okay, the last book I bought was First Time Caller. This obviously just got released in February. I mean, come on, that just looks like the cutest Valentine's Day book. It's adorable. I've heard so many people who got the ARC for this say that they loved it, and then people who have read it after release are like staying consistent with that. This is one I feel like it got a lot of hype going into the new year as a new release, but I've heard it's super good. I've also heard stellar things about the audiobook for this and the duet style that goes on here, which I love a good duet audiobook. But I believe it's like a single mom trope, which we always talk about single dad, but I love to see some single mom action. So this looks so cute. Good pick, Tedders. Good pick. You picking all the good ones today. We're voting right now on my Fable book club, but I'm pretty sure this one is winning right now. This will be a fun one to go into for my Fable club if we end up choosing that. Prompt number 3. Okay. Teddy, which one? That one. Okay. A book in a series I've started. Oh man, that's so hard. Oh, I mean, I am in the middle of my Throne of Glass reread, so if I want to cheat, I could pick Crown of Midnight, but I'm not going to do that because I don't think that's really fair. A book in a series I've started. Question for you. I read years ago The Remnant Chronicles, which starts off with Kiss of Deception. Let me tell you, this book series got me back into reading. I loved that series when I was a teenager. Like, it got me back into reading as a teenager, and then college happened and like, what was reading? I completely forgot reading for fun even existed. But I love that series so much, and apparently it's tied to Dance of Thieves. Is that what the book series is called? But I have it and I haven't read it. Ah, here it is. Okay, I also forgot about this one, so let's talk about these 2 books. Okay, so Dance of Thieves, again, is tied to the Remnant Chronicles. This is about an outlaw family, 3 fierce young women, the Queen's premier guard, a legendary street thief, and a dark secret. That just, like, that sounds like such a good time. I'll be honest though, this is a YA book. That font is Rebecca Yarros worthy. Rebecca Yarros, I don't know what you're doing with your Fourth Wing series, but that font makes me feel like I have bad eyesight, but I just got new contacts and I cannot for the life of me read without the page being this close to my face. I don't know, this looks good, but I feel like I almost need to reread The Remnant Chronicles so I can have a really good understanding of this book, because it's like vaguely living in the back of my mind, and it is a top tier like series for me, especially YA. I really don't know what this is about. The world, I've completely forgotten about the world, so maybe not this one. But House of the Golden Door is the 2nd book in the Wolf Den series that I started last year. Loved it. It was not what I was expecting. The Wolf Den is basically about these women who live in I don't think I could say the B word, a pleasure house in Pompeii before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. And it's basically just talking about how difficult it was to be a woman in like the Roman Empire and a woman just at all in that time period, and the things that she had to do to escape slavery and then kind of like make a name for herself and like be an independent woman. He's hitting the camera. He's so sassy today. He's giving me some major side eye. In the first book, something big happens at the end, and then this is basically like part 2 of her journey now that she's resolved one big issue that she was facing the whole time in book 1. I don't think she's part of that pleasure house anymore in this book. Now she's just like, okay, I'm a woman of my own devices. I'm a woman on my own agenda now. What the heck do I do? Because I still don't have the privileges that men had at that time. So she's kind of just dealing with new demons and new battles. This is really good. It's not magical. It's just like a period piece from specifically ancient Pompeii. Historically, this story is something I'm very, very interested in, and I don't see a lot of people write period pieces on it. So if you're interested in Pompeii and that whole story, I definitely recommend this series. The author did an insane amount of research to write this. Huge kudos to her. She killed it. If you're looking for good kind of ancient Rome feeling books that aren't magical, this is a good place to start. So I think I am gonna choose House of the Golden Door for March. Okay, mister, last prompt and then you can go because I know you're getting antsy. Okay, 2 here. Which one? Pick it. You gotta pick. Okay, he picked that one. Title is 3 words long. That's a good one. Okay, do you want to leave now? Okay, Mr. Ted is outside. I hope you enjoyed meeting him. He's just like the cutest little pibble. Like, how could you not love pibbles? They're just so freaking cute. I don't know. I grew up with pibbles. I think they're adorable already, but that one, he's like from another planet, I swear. He's like not even a dog. Truly. Back to the mission at hand. Title with 3 words. I have several of these. It's just, what am I feeling right now? I feel like 3 words is like pretty standard. I mean, we have Forget Me Not, You've Reached Sam, The Secret History, Blood of Hercules, The Love Hypothesis, Next of Kin, Ready Player One. If you've read Ready Player One, please tell me about it. I'm interested. I don't read a ton of sci-fi, but I did love the movie, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Ready or Not, The X-Vows. This is so hard. Okay, Wait, what genres do I have here right now? Okay, so I have a romance with first time caller. I have like a thrillery fantasy. Is that like what this would be considered? This is historical. Okay, so maybe fantasy then. Wait, romance, historical, thriller, fantasy, sci-fi maybe? Maybe, is this the day I read Ready Player One? You know, I'm kind of feeling The Secret History. I have heard very interesting things about this book. I think this is a book that's going to take a lot of brain power to read. The synopsis is really short, which I don't know, is either a really good thing or a really bad thing. Under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at a New England college discover a way of thought and life, a world away from their banal contemporaries. I don't know what that word is. But their search for the transcendent leads them down a dangerous path beyond human constructs of morality. It's got really great kudos on the back as well. I was a classics student, and so I feel like if this is written in a way that like classics feel written, I'll be able to comprehend it, because I kind of had to reprogram my brain in college to like enjoy reading classics and not feel like I was going brain dead from reading them. Why do I just feel like this is, I don't know, I feel like this is gonna be really good, really thought-provoking. It's probably going to be one that I wish I read with somebody so I can discuss it. If you've read it, let me know, because I might want to like fact check some things with you as I go along, because this, I feel like this could be a book where if I miss something, the rest of the book isn't gonna make sense. I love how the cover is like made to look like a classic. I believe it was written within the past century, which I guess you can have a classic written within the past century, but I don't think it's considered like a true classic. 1992. Okay, so it really wasn't written that long ago. This looks really good, actually. This is so interesting. As soon as they said under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, my professor from college, both of them, they're married. I adore them so much. This is like making me feel like I need to like reach out to them, and I don't know, maybe they've read this. This just sounds like something they wouldn't normally read, but also it literally sounds like a story about them. I don't know though. Anyways, it's just kind of like giving away like a ton of nostalgic feels. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this. So our 4 books: First Time Caller, How Does It Feel, The House with the Golden Door, and The Secret History. This is like a pretty good genre spread here. How I normally pick my 25 and 2025, the 2 books from there, is I'll try to pick a genre that maybe I don't have here. So what I'm thinking is sci-fi or high fantasy or YA. I think it's on the top shelf. You can't really see it, but I have them all lined up there. This is tough. There are so many options up there. I'll show you in a minute as I'm going through. I'm just kind of trying to brainstorm what would be a good option to read with these, because I also try not to match up genres too much for fear that I'll get the books mixed up. Okay, I have a couple options. Let me go grab those for you. So these are 4 books that I feel like would work really well for spring, because we're heading into that time of year, or they're just genres that I think I would be able to kind of read as a palette cleanser between the genres that I've already picked. So the first one is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. If you've watched Rach Reads or Rachel Catherine, she's obsessed with this series, and it's been on my TBR for so long. It's one I've been saving because I've heard it's slow. It's a cozy fantasy, and I've heard not much happens. It's kind of just you read it for the atmospheric vibes, and it sounds good, but I have to be in the right mindset for that. Otherwise, a slow, cozy fantasy will actually put me into a reading slump instead of being something casual that I can enjoy. But I'm feeling pretty good right now on my reading journey. I'm not feeling very slumpy. I feel like the year is just starting to pick up. I'm feeling very inspired. So this might be a good one to read. I've also mentioned that this year I might want to get a new Brandon Sanderson. So Mistborn might be a good option as fantasy. I believe this one's fantasy. I think his other series is more outer space sci-fi, but that's an option. I don't know if I'm really leaning towards this now that I'm like, oh, absolutely not. That font is so small. Sorry, Brandon. Bye-bye. Finding 13. This is the year, everybody, that this makes or breaks me. I will either become obsessed with this series or I'll read the first book and you'll never hear me talk about it again. I promise you it's going to be one of those 2 things. I don't know. I mean, do I have any? I do have like, I don't know, First Time Caller is like a romance, fun. Like, I think it's gonna like talk about some heavy things, but overall I think it's gonna end happily. I don't think this is gonna like be a super happy, fun, good time. And it's also, I believe it's set in Ireland, and I want to read a book that's set in Ireland before I go there this summer. I'm kind of feeling this one. Yeah, and I'm reading a lot of fantasy right now, kind of wrapping up February, and I kind of feel like I'm gonna want a fantasy break. This, I feel like I could read this for spring. My fourth option is Empire of Silence, which looks so good, but it is very long. The font is super small. I've heard it's excellent. I don't know if I'm feeling this right now, unfortunately. It looks like it's a 6-book series, potentially. This cover is so cool. It's like Star Wars meets Gladiator, basically, is the premise, but these covers are so amazing. But I don't know if I'm ready to commit to a 6+ book series. I'm also in the middle of my Throne of Glass reread right now, like I mentioned. I might save this one. I think I'm gonna go with Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, because I might need just a book I can pick up and put down throughout the month of March as like brief intermittent palette cleanser. I don't feel like I'm in a slumpy mood right now, so I think this one is going to be okay for me to read. And I feel like it's a little springy. That's great. And then this one, you know, sometimes you just need a good cry. And maybe in March, I'm just going to want to get absolutely destroyed by The Boys of Tommen. I'm like scared. I feel like, has this been like hyped up too much? Like if you've read it because you've seen a ton of book talkers and booktubers talk about it and you're like, I don't get the hype, let me know. I'm so interested. Like, am I just on the side of like the bookish community that is obsessed with this, but it's actually like mid? I'm not saying it's mid. I'm just curious because I literally know nothing about it. It's one of those series I feel like the community has done a really, really good job not spilling the beans on, which I appreciate so much. I just feel like this is a really good array. Sometimes you don't finish your whole TBR, and that is totally okay. Like, it doesn't mean I haven't read other books. So I might still read 10 books a month. I just might not have finished every book that was on my physical TBR, which is totally fine, but these are books I've been so excited to read. Okay, so I need to reorganize this so I have some room. I like to put all my TBRs on the top shelf because, again, choice fatigue. If I like put them back on the shelf, I'm literally never going to think about them again. But having them on the top shelf here has been so great because I can just grab and go and mood read because I'm a chronic mood reader. Alrighty, we have How Does It Feel? The House with the Golden Door. The Secret History. So excited for that one. I'm scared, but I'm excited. Finding 13. I'm ready. I want to be on the bandwagon for this so badly. Y'all don't even understand. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I think that's gonna be such a good spring one. And then First Time Caller. I'm trying to limit the amount of books that I'm buying this year, but this was a new release I had to have, and I was avoiding going to the bookstore because I was like, I'm trying not to buy books on Amazon as much unless it's, I don't know, hard to find, and or if like the editions in the stores are just ridiculously expensive. So I wasn't buying it on Amazon. I've been avoiding bookstores, and yesterday my friend was like, do you want to go to the bookstore while we were out for coffee? And I was like, you cannot give me coffee and then invite me to the bookstore. I'm gonna say yes. So of course, I did only pick up one book. I can't remember the last time I went to a bookstore and only got one book. Crazy. This is such a good list, guys. And honestly, that's not that much. That is like very, very doable. And this is also potentially going to be my Fable book club read. So it's awesome that that checks it off the list. As like a little bonus, because I love bonus books, guys, I just finished Funny Story by Emily Henry because I'm trying to read all of her books before her new book gets released in April, I believe. And the only book of hers I have left to read is People We Meet on Vacation. And I was really hoping that this one would fit one of the prompts that we were going through today. But alas, Teddy did not pick a prompt that I feel like fit this one. I really wanted this on my TBR, so I'm going to add it as like a backup on my TBR because I want to read that one so badly before her book gets released, because then I'll be all caught up. I love her book so much. I've heard that this one is like her least popular, but I've also heard everyone say if they hate book lovers, they actually ended up loving People We Meet on Vacation. I personally didn't love Book Lovers. Out of all of her books, it was my least favorite. All that being said, I have really high hopes that I'm actually going to enjoy People We Meet on Vacation. So fingers crossed, if I read it, I will be letting you know. Okay, so these are the 6 + 1, 7 books that I plan to be reading in March. Thank you so much for joining my TBR Jar video. And I'm so glad y'all got to meet Ted a little bit more. He's the bestest. He is outside right now and it's pretty cold, so I think I'm gonna go get him. But again, if you have not liked or subscribed, please do. It helps me so much, and I hope to see you on my future videos. Please feel free to comment below your March TBR. I love seeing these comments because it gives me ideas for more books. If you're also reading any of these books, let's chat about them. I would love that. I'm also on Booksta and Booktok, so you can find me over there. DM me if you're reading any of these and we can chat about them. But anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic reading month, and I'll catch you on my next video. Love ya.